So, I was talking to my mum, my 85-year-old mother, about Advaita Vedanta and the non-dual perspective, like you do. Just cropped up in conversation. No, it did. It does sometimes. And I had a sort of talk with somebody else as well, who sort of not really thought about this. And it amazes and fascinates me over and over again that people don't consider the thing I end up saying at the end of the sort of the conversation is that you spend your life considering a million different things, thinking about, worrying about, and thinking about a million different things, right? And trying to find out a million different things about how to live life, blah, 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 or whatever, how to do this, how to do that, where we're going, what we're doing, all that kind of thing. But all of that is made difficult by the fact that you're not privy to all the information. So, what's the purpose of life? What should I do in life? Whatever. You're not privy to the information that you need to be able to work that out. And the only thing that you are privy to the information of, which is also debatable, that absolutely nobody else in the history of mankind will be privy to the information of, is you, right? Because all the information that you have about you is contained within you. You're the only one who has access to that information, the only one. And like I said, even that's debatable, because lots of your processes are subconscious, and the talk with my mother was about whether any of your processes are conscious at all. Can you really look back over your life and say that anything that you did, you planned? You did lots of things, but did you plan them? Did you do them intentionally? Or did you just make the best of what happened? And, even if you make decisions, then there's the argument of do we actually have any free will? Robert Sapolsky concludes, no, we don't, because, we're a product of our genetics, our epigenetics, which is nothing we can do anything about, and then we're a product of primary education through your family, and then through your environment, which is impacting on you all the time, subconsciously having little tiny effects on you, and your responding to those effects all the time, so on and so forth, right? So that at the end of the day, you don't actually make any conscious decisions. You're drawn or moved to make decisions by a whole heap of processes underneath your conscious thinking that lead you to do that, right? So even you say, yes, I made that decision, I'm going to walk across this field. Yeah, I'm going to walk across this field, and that's my conscious decision, but there are a million reasons why I choose fields to walk across and even bother coming out in the first place that have already happened underneath that decision. So anyway, so there's that, right? So there's that to start with. Get your laughing gear on that. And then, so people look a bit confused and don't understand my point of view, don't understand what it is I'm getting at. And so I'll start by saying something like, well, we have no idea what reality is. They look at you like, huh? You don't know what reality is. You don't know what this world looks like. You don't know what this world is like at all. Okay, right. We know that all of this is not correct, right? Definitely. We know that your impression of this here is not correct. Huh? Look around you at the green, right? Lovely, isn't it, right? There's no green out there. There are frequencies of light that hit your retina, send a signal to your brain, and your brain interprets that as green, but there isn't any green out there. Outside of your eyes, there is no green, or red, or brown, or orange, or anything else. Huh? Any sound that you hear isn't out there, is it? Huh? When you hear a bell ringing, it's a wave propagating through the air, making the air shake. which hits your ear, which sends a signal to your brain, which your brain interprets as a bell ringing. But it's not, the sound isn't out there. What's out there is a wave. Huh? Any touch sensation that you have is just, all of this is just interpretations of the outside world. You have no idea what the outside world is actually like. Right, so it could be anything. Who the hell knows? I have no idea what any of this looks, feels, tastes, sounds like. I have no idea at all. It's a complete and utter mystery to me. I see things that appear to have form. You know, I could identify it and say, I'm going to call that a tree or whatever, but what it actually is, don't know. Can't say. I can't even tell you if the form is correct, because the form is impermanent. It remains for a short amount of time and then it degrades into something else. So it's constantly changing. So it's, you know, it's none of this is permanent. It's ever-changing forms that I can't really say anything about. Makes it all a bit difficult. And so we spend our lives walking around a world where we just accept, or seem to accept, that this is reality. And I'm questioning whether it is, or what do you mean by reality? What's your definition of that? And then that's all of that stuff out there. But then, am I not a form as well, like a tree? So, what am I then? Well, same thing. The colour of my skin, the colour of my beard has an appearance, but that colour isn't there. The surface texture of my skin that I feel, again, is dependent on my perceptions, even my view of myself inside. Who am I? This was the thing we were talking about last night. I know nothing about. The thing I spend all of my life in this body with this thing, this ego, this person, and I know nothing about it. Majority of people spend absolutely zero time, or as good as zero time, wondering anything about the bone cage that they exist in, and trying to find out what it is. Just like, 5 minutes sitting there thinking to yourself, what is this? Looking inside. Talk about me all the time. I, mine, me, you and me, that's mine, leave me alone, I think this. Never even once in a life that goes on for 85 years asking, hang on a minute, what is this I am talking about? Who's this me? We just sort of wash over it. Me. Yeah, it's obvious I'm talking about me. But you never really think about it. When you think about everything else in life, all the things surrounding us, all the things that go on, never once do people sit down and actually sort of turn off, become quiet and think about me. And what it means even to be me, and what it means to be me when I understand what all of that is. So start thinking about that, and then think, so all of that's like this stuff, and I can't say anything about it, don't even, well, what am I then? And then think about that. And, there'll be many conclusions you can come to from that idea, but one of the conclusions you can come to is that the stuff out there and the stuff in here is no different. So, no difference. I'm perceiving it as different because my perceptions and my brain and the way I'm constituted, the things that appear to be constituent particles or parts are thrown together have made this thing appear to be like this, but that's as much an illusion as anything else. The illusion that I think I have any free will. How could I, if it's all based on particles doing their interactions? and most of it happens below the surface. And what the hell is me anyway as a person? What am I as a body? And so on and so forth. And it's amazing to watch the look on people's faces when they sort of, for the first time in their lives, realise that that is the reality they're living in. And they've never considered it, not once. You go around with the, you just do your thing and that's it. You know, this is real. Yeah, but it's not. It's so obviously not real. You know, you spent your life walking around in somewhere where you think is real, and it's just so obviously not real. I mean, real, there's something there, possibly, but it's most definitely not what you thought it was, ever, all of that time, 85 years, or 58 in my case. And you walked around as this avatar that you thought was also real, that you thought was me, so obvious. And then somebody puts you in a position where they make you realise, oh, it's really not that obvious. Everything I took for granted and thought was absolutely perfectly obvious seems to be not very obvious at all. I can't imagine having not been put in the fortunate or unfortunate position, because it's often unfortunate, I must admit, of sitting and thinking about that a lot. So I can't imagine what my world would be like if that wasn't part of my avatar, to not think like that. But I can see the shock on people's faces when they have that realization for the first time, and it's fascinating that in the face of all we know, this never occurred to them. Anyway, have a lovely Sunday. Go and have a chat with your mum about the meaninglessness of life.